Hey everybody, welcome to my own private Kokomo, your every other daily dose of that island life where we can do whatever we want. I'm Ryan Meharry, and here with me is my good pal, Dave Tooney.
Hey everybody, how are y'all doing?
Hey Dave.
Monday.
Davey. Hey Davey. Good to see my buddy Dave on a Monday. Oh yeah. Whoa.
What was that?
It was the volume on the YouTube.
Oh yeah, I gotta make sure mine's muted.
It was sorry, yelling. Hi Tony.
Hi.
Special surprise guest today, Tony Charlene.
Oh, hey Tony.
Hi.
We had a nice little hangout the other night. It was really fun.
Yeah, we did. It was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Was that Saturday night?
Saturday
Friday
night? Or was it Friday? It was Friday.
I think it was Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how to have a good time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked cookies.
Yeah. Would you know it? We talked a bunch about Oreos. So everything that we talk about on here, we talk about in real life also.
Can you believe it?
Kind of on a one-track mind usually.
Yeah.
Oreos. We listed off our favorites. Mine was, of course, double stuff. Dave, interesting to me at least, his favorite were golden Oreos 1,
Mm-hmm.
mint Oreos 2, and then double stuffed golden 3. But I thought that was interesting that at least like that regular golden and double stuffed golden wouldn't be just 1 and 2 either order, but that somehow mint separates them.
I think that's like one of the fun things about me. Is my peculiarities regarding Oreo preferences.
Your quirks. You're a quirky guy when it comes to Oreos.
Yeah. Keep you guessing.
Yeah. Tony, how's your Monday going so far?
Not too bad. I've walked the dogs. I've done some writing. I already did a little bit of a workout. I'm a little bit worried about these push-ups.
Oh, really?
Did you do a step workout?
No, I did a little jog.
Nice.
Okay. Are you worried about push-ups because you haven't done them in a minute, or you did some recently and you think you're going to be a little worn out?
I did a jog and band workout. I haven't done them in a while. They were weak before. I'm not going to pretend they were great.
They're not my best exercise.
Yeah. This is the beginning of my embarrassing story. Is my push-ups. I have nothing to do with push-ups other than when you see them.
Yeah.
So I just in general, they're I hate them. It's not great. My upper arm strength is surprisingly lacking.
Oh, okay.
You say your underarm strength?
my arm and I guess underarm.
Oh, I wasn't sure.
Her overarm, her top part of her arm, strong as can be.
Absolutely. The bicep is there.
Noodle. Yeah, for those, so guys, today we are going to each do, what do we want to say? 70, we'll say 75 push-ups.
We said 75 push-ups.
We said 75. Okay, is that too much, too little? I think 75 is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, are you saying we have to just like eke these out all in a row?
I mean, I've thought about it. I have a strategy on how I'm going to break them up. Like
I thought you meant 75 divided by the 3 of us.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Yeah. We're all 3 doing 75.
All right. Oh, okay. We can break it down. We don't have to. I mean, like
I'm up for it. Sure. If people got the time.
Okay. So I was thinking I was going to break mine up into like quick sets of 7, take like a few seconds and then try to do, all right, how about that? We'll do 50 because also like the stories might run out before.
You have to tell the stories while we're doing the push-up?
Yeah.
Wait. Here's the thing. I know you just texted me 20 minutes ago to do this, but here's what we got to do. Somebody does them while another person tells a story. That's why I thought it was divided. How are you going to do a push-up to the ground and while...
the struggle while telling an embarrassing story is what's like funny to me, but
the It's embarrassing because one, you're doing an exercise you're not great at.
Mhm.
And then when you're taking a break, you're out of breath and telling an embarrassing story about yourself.
Yeah. What's nice about it, the best way to look at it is that whenever the push-ups feel embarrassing, you can really emphasize the story, and then vice versa. I'm willing to
But
go.
you're telling it to the ground.
And well, I mean, we're all showmen. We're showmen.
But you want to tell
We're show people, I should say. Here,
also,
I'll go.
that counts. Also, that counts.
Yeah, counts.
That's fair. That's fair.
74 to
Right.
go.
That
Yeah.
feels like.
But I'll go first as like a test run, and we can this is a new bit. I think it's got potential, and if it's a disaster, we'll call it, and we can see kind of what the number of push-ups is. What's the right number?
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So again, guys, we're each going to tell an embarrassing story while doing push-ups.
You're not going to be on camera doing your push-ups?
Absolutely. I'm gonna move the camera down with me, and then we've got a sense for how to, I think, frame and stage and everything like that. So we'll see how it goes. Okay. So here's what.
So we're all doing it at the same time.
No. You guys get to sit and watch and pepper me with questions if you'd like.
Okay.
Oh,
How
I
about this?
I see.
And how about, so I think one of us is going to need to kind of keep track of numbers while you tell the story while doing push-ups,
that's
because
true.
it's easy to lose
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
I'll count them out. Tony, if you have any questions that you want to ask him during this, by all means.
Yeah. Also, if we have any viewers, feel free to keep track as well. So in case Dave pop in.
If you think, if you guys think I missed one or something like that in the chat, let us know.
In the chat, I just want to mention, Jared is chanting 75, 75, 75, as is Drew. But then also Drew quickly comes to the defense of Tony by saying, Tony, you're the guest. Do it your way. Or no, do it their way.
Yeah,
He's
there's
not
no
Drew.
way. There's no way Drew's coming to the defense of Tony.
I was about to be like, Drew, very out of character for you. And then nope.
Oh yeah, I should tell that story about Drew and see who.
That story is great.
I feel like I should have maybe done a couple of warm-ups because it usually takes me a while to get into push-ups, but we're just going to go for it.
I'm just glad we got our excuse set up early. We got our excuse set up right away. Why this might not go well. Go right. Well
Not
done.
to spend too much time on this, but is there like a technique?
Yeah,
like
whatever.
arms in or arms out or.
I think it's wobbly arms, grunt technique.
Yeah. I mean, by the end of them, I'm just going to be like snaking up pretty much. So,
Okay.
no, I mean, I guess I go a little wide, but because they hurt the closer ones hurt my elbows. I have bad elbows. All right. Oh, fuck. Okay.
Here we go. I'm counting them out.
All right. Okay. So here we go. Starting now. All right. So this story happened in college. I was about 19, and my friend of mine since childhood, his dad died, and we'd sort of been just like kind of friends, very close, but like kind of off and on, where we would like switch schools and sort of lose track, but then like catch back up. And so at that point we were still pretty close, but we hadn't seen each other in a while. And like, but our families used to be close. And anyway, so I hadn't seen like a lot of his family in a while.
14.
And so we're at the what is that? What number are we
14.
at?
You're at 14.
Oh my god! All right, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but what part of your story? There's like.
Huh? All right, hold on. Here we go. Okay, so we're at the we're at the wake. I'm just doing some setup, and also I'm trying to like spread it out a little bit because I know I got a lot of push-ups left. All right. So what happened was his sister, who I know pretty well, had like a baby since I had last seen her, and the kid at that point was like 2 or 3. Now, a lot of people was that like 16 now?
20. You're at 20.
Or 20? People hadn't seen me in a while. And so they're like, oh, what are you doing? What's going on? And I'm like, oh, I'm a theater major. And I'm doing stand-up comedy. I like to do stand-up, and I want to do sketch comedy also. And I was like, oh, nice. That's great. That's so great. That's so great. And then I don't know about you guys, but like sometimes when you like meet people and they kind of know that you're like, that you do comedy, they sort of have like an expectation that, you know, you'll be funny.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I can get like in those situations, like some bad, like social anxiety. And so, anyway, the kid, oh God, folks.
I think you're at 28. I may have lost count, but I think you're at 28.
Okay.
This is. Are you on your knees or not? No shame. I'm just.
I'm not. I mean, I'm on my knees right now for like a quick little
Gotcha.
break them up. But when I'm doing them, I'm not. Okay. So anyway, I meet my friend's sister's kid for the first time. He's like 2 or 3, and then a crowd starts.
Forming around you.
No, not a crowd, but it felt like there was like all of a sudden like there was a circle.
Okay.
I mean, of like 8 people, like nothing crazy.
No, that's a crowd.
What do you guys think? Like 55?
You're at like 34 right now, I think.
I thought you could break them up.
Huh?
You have to do all 75 stories with him, or all 75 push-ups with the embarrassing story.
I mean, yeah, just so that we're not dragging too much. So
Okay.
Trying to figure out what's the right length for the story.
Okay.
Right, so we're at 34. Okay. I'm gonna like knock out like 10 real quick, okay? Just so
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. A crowd starts forming around you meeting
the crowd.
a 2-year-old of an old friend. And this is just at a party.
Give him a recap so far, Tony. Give him a recap.
You want to be a
yeah. Give him a recap. Was that 10?
I think you're at 43 now, I think.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so anyway, like there's a bunch of people around.
And this is just a party, a gathering.
It's like the after funeral sort of like
oh, I see.
Like people are over at the house, you know.
Okay, I see. I thought it's years apart. I gotcha.
And so, and they like this kid comes up, and for whatever reason, and maybe this is just all in my head, but I'm like, oh, I need to do something funny for the kid. I need to make the kid laugh.
Oh yeah, that's a good instinct.
Yeah. And so, without really thinking about what I was doing, I just started going. I was gonna riff, and I just started going like I went up to the kid and I started going like, "Hey, it's me, your grandpa. How are you?" You know, like in my mind, like not really, like realizing
his grandpa just died. You're at his funeral.
Yeah, I was just doing like a crazy grandpa character, just like it's the first thing that came to mind. Like I didn't make the connection. And so I'm like doing it for a second. I'm like, "Hey, it's me, your grandpa. How are you?" Or something like that. And like, what's that at, Dave?
We have to go to the YouTube thing. I think you're at 49.
So how far down are you going, man?
Hillary, don't do any more for a second, Ryan. Let me just see if we can get a count here.
Oh, sure, no problem. I won't do any more for a second.
Are we at 49, everybody? We'll find out.
I mean, yeah, I'm definitely going.
More push-ups than viewers.
Well, for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean,
If we did 10 push-ups.
I'll match.
yeah, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet.
All right, I won't. Oh, God.
Wait, so what was the reaction?
Well, then we just have to
Oh,
wait.
you have to pause the story. Oh.
This,
We got 49. That's the count we're at.
oh, God. All right, here, let's see if I can
Thank you, Hillary.
All right, so what happened was everyone got real quiet and just sort of like looking at me, and I stopped because I knew something was wrong, but still like took me a second, like it took me a few seconds to realize kind of what it was, and I was like, oh, like staying in character, like, oh, just kidding.
Stay in character for.
I'm just I'm a weirdo or something, and I mean, that's basically it. And everyone just kind of dispersed. But I think about it, it's still like all the time. Like there's been so many nights where I've just sort of stood there, like sat there or just wide awake, staring up at the ceiling, thinking about it. It makes my skin crawl. Like I just like,
Yes.
it's still whatever I'm doing. Where are we at?
Let's put you in even 55.
All right, I'll do 5 more just to call it.
Whatever you want, buddy.
We'll say 60 is the number. Right?
I think it sounds great.
I don't think anyone wants me to just do 20 more push-ups.
I mean,
What do you think that is? Because I have that at night too, where you're like just cuddled in bed and you can't sleep, and you're like, what are the terrifying, stupid, embarrassing things that I've done? Like, let me be bad to myself. Like,
yeah.
Like I don't know what that is, but I'm always like,
They'll make me do like a quick, if I'm under the covers, it'll make me do like this quick, like shudder and turn. I'll be like,
yeah. Yeah, as though I saw a ghost and it was just my embarrassing life.
yeah.
Like, it's the most awful moments. Like, let me.
I'm gonna finish the 75. If you guys have any questions,
okay. I've lost a little bit of track on what you were doing.
I believe I'm at 64.
Great. During those stories, when I think about, I wonder like, if I would just say these out loud and, not allow them, maybe would they lose their power if I would just say these out loud and tell these embarrassing stories ad nauseum so they lose their effect.
Absolutely.
And then probably like if I could talk to the people who I'm embarrassed that are involved, and they would like give me forgiveness or whatever, then I'd feel better and I could get past this. But,
forgiveness, yeah,
or whatever, they'd be like, oh, wasn't that big of a deal, or whatever it is. Like, or am I just going to take these to my grave?
Yeah.
This burden and this.
I think you need to exercise them. 70.
So this is called, we're exercising our
nice.
demons.
Almost there, buddy.
Yeah.
I think that's 75.
Are you working out every day? Is this like, how was this for you?
First workout since this all started.
Really?
No, I'm just joking.
Kelly said, Kelly calls it cringe binging.
Cringe binging?
Yeah. Where we're telling things maybe they were embarrassed about and exercising.
Also, if you have any questions for Ryan or anybody, just write them on.
Yeah, please.
Down.
Have you talked to who's this? Whose party was this again?
It was a funeral.
It was a funeral. I'm sorry, funeral. Have you talked to the people ever about this incident?
No. I mean, I still like say hi to that friend, and we were pretty close still. Like after.
Yeah.
I don't think he was present for that moment.
Okay.
And I weirdly enough, like I blocked it out. Like I did it and blocked it out, and then like 6-7 years ago, I remembered it. It like just came back to me, and I was like, oh my God. And it was even worse than I remembered. Like at the time I was just like, oh man, that was silly, woo, bad. And then when I thought about just how bad it was years later, it was so mortifying.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Well, that was great, buddy. You did it. You did the push-ups. You told the story, and we commend you for it.
Thank you so much.
Tony and I got to get going here, so we're gonna call it
Yeah.
a day. We got to get to some stuff here. So
yeah, absolutely. Sorry. you guys want, we can, want to call it 50 or
I'm cool with whatever.
all right.
You did it.
I thought we were splitting 75.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, in my mind, this all made perfect sense.
It does. It was fun to watch.
In execution, it worked great.
Oh, good.
Tony, you want to go or you want me to go?
I'll go. I don't want to be last.
All right.
Yeah.
Dave, would you like? I'll get a counter going.
Better angle here. Oh God.
I need a towel.
Is this good? Okay.
Sure.
Oh boy. Okay, so I thought of a few stories, and good thing too, because that might be a few stories.
You might need to back up a little bit. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh boy. What's the first one? Okay.
Here we go.
So the first one, you guys were there. I don't know if you remember this. So we were at a wedding. Is that down low enough? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're telling this story.
Well, we've been at a lot of weddings together.
Okay.
Probably not the one you're thinking of.
Okay.
And I've embarrassed myself at all of them, so I'm kind of curious too.
That was technically two, remember? Because I already.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You got it. Okay.
So we were at a wedding, beautiful wedding at the beach, and we were going inside, and the groom was doing his speech, and I was pretty drunk. Me, Drew, and Jamie had gotten there early. We went over to a bar, had a bunch of shots before the ceremony even started. So then, cut to after the ceremony is done, we go in, everybody's making their speech, and then it's the groom's speech. And he's like, I'll change your name. Trish. Trish is looking so beautiful. And just coming down that aisle, I thought, I will never have this moment in my life again. This is it. And I burst out laughing. I was in a table that was further back. I thought it was funny. Every time I tell this story, I realize I'm in the wrong, but I still stand by. At the time, I didn't mean it as anything mean. I truly thought he was saying something funny. Do you remember this?
Yeah, we were sitting next to each other, right?
Yeah, we were right. All three of us were right. and then Drew taps me, or it might have been Dave, and they're like, "That's not a joke. That's not funny. Nobody's laughing." And I double down and loudly go, "It's a funny joke." Again, everybody's quiet. Drew's talking, and just drunk Tony cackling at this groom's very touching speech about his wedding and seeing his bride come down the aisle. What am I at?
31.
Oh God.
Oh, hey, that's a lot.
You're doing better than me for sure. Yes, I was. I was sitting next to Tony. I'll say this, Tony. I think everyone at our table thought it was really funny, and like, no, you're being great, except for one person. Well, I won't say who. Maybe you know. They were the officiant at the wedding. They presided over the wedding, and I could tell he was so mad. He was so mad.
Oh, at me?
I know, all of us, because we were all being a little rowdy.
Yeah.
Like it felt palpable.
Yeah, some say rowdy, some say disrespectful. Is that the story you thought I was going to say, Dave?
No, that's not the story I thought you were going to say. And I'm grateful. I'm also not even sure which wedding this is. So we'll have to talk about it later. I've narrowed it down to two.
They were on Orpheus Roy with us and Tatertown.
Yep.
We can talk about it later. I'm at what, 30, what?
38.
3, okay.
So did you say you had another story, or are you gonna, do we want to?
No, I got another.
Okay.
Well, I'll do this one. not speaking of improv. So it's Christmas time. We're visiting my family. Drew and I are visiting my family in Arizona, and my family is you gotta like expect the unexpected. They're unpredictable. They're predictably unpredictable. And so we're gonna go see Home Alone 2 in theaters, and it's my family. And we're also gonna stop by one of my brother's works, and we like finally gather my brother. One of my brother keeps losing this pair of pants that he has, like another pair, and these like candles that he got for me, but he keeps like setting them down just like around, and he keeps like carrying them with him, and he like sets them at this restaurant, and we like have to go back, and we're like, what is happening? But then we meet my brother and his coworkers. We sit down. We're having a good time. We get to the theater. We get to the theater early. And it's just like, it's also at this time I'm like kind of introducing to my family that's like, oh, buckle up, buddy. And I'm like very impressed with us. A bunch of things. Hold on, that might be Drew adding to the story now. And I'm like settled in, and I'm like so happy. We're seeing a movie. It's Christmas at a time. And then my phone rings, and it's my grandma. And I went, oh shit, we all forgot to pick up my grandma to go to the movie. We forgot my grandma by Christmas to go see a movie. And I pick up and I'm like, hey, and she's like, are y'all still coming to get me? I'm so sorry. And she, and this is, you know, her child is my mother. She's like, did you forget? And we have never done anything like this. It's not necessarily wrong of her to do, but she's like, it's truly, she was like, it's no problem. She's the sweetest woman anyways, but she's like, it's no problem. Don't worry about it. But that was the time my whole family, but I was the one driving and doing everything. I got to pick up my grandma to go Home Alone 2 at Christmas. What am I at?
64.
64, okay, great.
64.
So let's give a shout out when I'm at 69, okay?
You got it.
All right. So.
Did you do anything to make it up to your grandma?
No, but I mean, my grandma's just the sweetest thing. I could smile at her and she truly would be touched. She was probably relieved, honestly.
Right. It's gonna have to be.
It was a whole.
Get everything together and.
I mean, and I'm in love with my grandma. I love my grandma so much. I mean, of course, people love their grandma, but like, she's truly one of. Oh, I love her so much. But no, there wasn't a waking up. So I guess I'm an awful person. So the first time my partner Drew saw me naked was after we graduated Herald Night, and we were at Birds.
A while ago.
Drinks are flowing. You know, fully my responsibility. But also, you know how Drew can.
Oh, you're at 69.
Yeah, but you know how Drew can kind of be with like shots, blah blah blah. It was also such an exciting time. It was great. I go back to his house. He lived kind of by the theater at the time, and I go to the bathroom.
Yeah, one more.
And I start ralphing. And I start ralphing hard. And I take off all my clothes because I just need to get, what was that?
You're done. He's 75.
Oh, nice. Well, we'll just stop there then. I took off all my clothes, and he's like, let me come in. I was like, no, like I'm so drunk, I'm throwing up, and I'm naked. And then finally I just let him in because I'm like, I'm so sick at this point. I don't care.
Had you guys like gone on a date or anything whatsoever? No, you guys are just friends?
I mean, we had there were some things going on, but certainly nothing like this.
Gotcha.
I was throwing up so hard I was farting. And I mean farting hard.
Like loud, like trumpeting farts? Are you laughing at this point? Are you just like laughing?
No.
I didn't know, like, or are you just mortified?
I'm like,
you have like a good sense of humor. I figure at some point when you're like vomiting naked and farting in front of somebody you have like a crush on, I feel like Tony, because I feel like you're a very emotionally like well-balanced person that you would see the humor in it and be able to laugh in the moment.
Oh, I mean, I'm telling it to everybody.
Yeah. Sure, I know.
But at the time I was just so sick and so drunk and so like, and I also didn't want him to be there. It was like, let me throw up on my own. And he's like, I'm worried. And like, it was so, and it was nonstop. It was just like, I think the pressure, all the pressure was just like out and out. And it was like continuous. It wasn't like once or twice. It was continuous.
Your stomach hurts so bad. It's like, it's like retching so hard. And
it's retching so hard. And I'm just like a little like cat sort of thing going on. Like, he was like, I thought you would after it, we did see a cracked tile, and he's like, I'm pretty sure you cracked my tile from farting so hard. That's not true, but it was so yeah.
Weirdly enough, I think Drew saw me naked in that same bathroom. Or just my wiener. There's one time I was over at his place and I had to pee, but I was having an issue and it, like not getting too personal, but every so often like I have like a hard time peeing, like just like physically it's just like hard to get it out. Okay. And it was happening there. And so I was in the bathroom for a long time, and there was Drew's neighbor, this really cute girl who was like had stopped by the party for a bit, left, and then came back and was asking about me.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about this.
Yeah,
this is at 311, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is at a different apartment.
And like, so she was there. She came back, and there wasn't like a whole lot of people left, and so she was there to like hopefully see me. And I was in the bathroom. I was in there for a long time, and Drew like kind of like came into the door and he said, "Hey man, that girl's here for you." And I was like, okay. And he was like, "Nice dick." Closed the door. So,
yeah.
This was at Harvard, is the apartment I was talking about.
Gotcha.
Not that that matters, but.
Nope.
Harvard University.
Yes. Yeah. I would say that out loud too.
Where you're barfing and farting at the same time.
Just barfing and farting after drinking. Is my Herald team graduated?
I got drunk. I started barfing. I started farting. We had a hell of a good time.
Why were your clothes off? I don't know. No, I do know. I took them off.
You don't want to get barf and fart juice on them.
Honestly, it was just like, get out of here. I gotta get everything off of me.
Yeah, and you're sweating so bad in that scenario. Like you're like, I gotta get out of these clothes. I'm so hot now, and I'm so sick.
If that happened to you guys, would turn on, turn off? Doesn't.
If I was the one throwing up, or if the girl was.
Girl was throwing up.
I mean, it's not a turn on, but like it wouldn't mean that I couldn't be like I would be grossed out by her forever or anything. Like I would find it endearing. Yeah, like
if I was the one throwing up, turn off. If I'm the one, turn on either way. I give you credit for telling these stories, like telling stories that are from adulthood, like especially like adulthood living out here in LA. Like, you know, people here. These are like closer to when you tell stories. I feel like when I same thing, like when I like teach classes or whatever, when I tell them this, we talk about telling monologues and stories. I'm always like, you can tell them from whenever, but just know, like, the more recent, the funnier it is. Cause like now that's you, like, this is, we can see it and picture it. The longer ago it was, the less meaningful it is. It feels like, and also it feels like a different person almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, I'm going to tell ones from childhood. Cause I've either don't, it's a mix of don't have the courage to tell more current stories and also have suppressed a lot of current stories deep down to where I can't even acknowledge some of them if I wanted to.
Do you have embarrassing stories about either one of us, Dave?
No, you two are great.
What do you mean, like things where we did something embarrassing, or?
Yeah.
No, you have 100%. You do.
I'm trying to think.
I think they're funny. If I can think of some, I'm sure I think they're funny, but I don't think they're embarrassing, and they only make me like you guys more.
Yeah, you're a good friend.
Get to it.
Yeah.
All right. Is this where? All right.
If you can get the microphone down there with you, that'd be great. Sure.
Is this the place?
Yeah, this must be the place.
Is this the place? What is that from?
Talking Heads.
A lot of things.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I'll tell, in theory, maybe 3. Look at my dirty carpet. I'll tell 3 maybe stories. They're all quick, that all are related to me growing into a young man.
Okay, I like it.
Or the desire to. All right.
Puberty sounds good to me.
Yeah, I don't know if they're really puberty related. The first one is a quick one. All right, here we go. Is this it? Okay.
Yeah, back flat.
Back flat. Okay, here we go. First one is, my sister still tells this story all the time, and my niece just brought it up to me that it happened. And that is, when we were on a vacation when I was young, I wasn't wearing deodorant yet because I was whatever at that age. And then my dad sat next to me on a bed in a motel. I was like, hey, Dave, you ever think about wearing deodorant? And I was mortified. I was mortified in that moment.
I'm counting, but my app screwed up for a second. So
I was mortified. And in that moment, and from that moment on, I wore deodorant all the time. But unfortunately, my sister Suzanne was in earshot of that happening. And she brings it up now when my dad told me it was time for me to start wearing deodorant. So I was starting to smell, or probably had been smelling for a considerable amount of time up till that point. What are we at?
24. You're crushing them. That was
okay. The second one is, when I was younger, we go to Walden Books in the mall, and they had these little, I just got a wallet, and oh my God, I'm getting tired. I just got a wallet.
Pace yourself, bud.
And I didn't have anything to put in it because I didn't have money or anything. And they had these little like fake credit cards at Walden Books, and they would have like freaking like Disney characters on them, and they would say like, "You're cool," or like, I don't know, like "kiss me" or something, like stuff like that on them. And I remember just like staring at them, and then begging my mom to let me get like 2 of them so I could put them in my empty wallet. And I thought that maybe if girls saw these cards that said I was cool or like kiss me or something like that, then they would think that's cool and then be into me in my, and have even though I was terrified of girls at that point, that must have been 4th grade, 5th grade. I don't remember, something like that. But I had a couple Disney wallet credit cards that had no value. And I wanted to impress girls. Ugh. What are we at?
40.
I think a little over halfway. Okay.
You're doing really good. I think time-wise, you're doing.
Yeah, you're pumping them out, man.
If anything,
Okay.
slow down on those stories.
I've only got one more.
One more story, 35 more push-ups.
Okay. My chest is like burning.
Good.
Does it, weren't yours?
Yeah.
No, but I feel like I was doing them like so slight.
You're doing like legit real push-ups, Dave.
You guys
Your
are doing
form is
legit
great.
real push-ups.
Well, I was trying my
No, I
Harry.
thought we did good too. Dave is like chest all the way to the ground, like he's showing off a little.
You guys are.
Yeah.
I am not. I just, hey, do it right or don't do it at all.
No.
You're okay.
My chest seized up right then. I feel like, okay. So now, let's go to a Christmas party on my dad's side. And we do this kind of like white elephant thing where you can like give gifts and then you can also steal them and then like trade, that type of gift giving, you know what I mean? And they're all like $5 things or whatever. But all right, hold on. But one of the gifts that my mom got and wrapped up was a little bottle of cologne. And I was desperate for this bottle of cologne. And I knew what it was. I knew what it looked like. And I got it in this white elephant thing. And I picked it and it was mine. I was like, I would have cologne. I have cologne and maybe I'll put it on like my dad does. I'm so excited. This will be good. Girls like this. And then my Uncle Mick, sensing clearly that I was zeroed in on this thing and I had it in my possession. He won the next round or whatever. And part of that was like, you can take someone else's gift. So he took my bottle of cologne, which I hadn't even none of us had opened them up yet, I don't think. But he's like, I'm going to take that. And he took it. And I like reluctantly gave it to him. It was all I could do to not start crying right then and there. I was so mad at my uncle and so worried that I wasn't going to get that cologne back. And it was like probably like Aqua Velva or whatever the cheapest cologne you could possibly get. And
Crossing his leg.
I was a real pill for most of the game. And then finally, I was able to get another round or something like that and trade back for it. And I was so happy and so excited. It had no effect on any girls in my class or anyway. But I remember like, I could like feel my face like shaking a little bit because I was so mad about not getting this cologne.
Oh my gosh.
In my grandma's apartment. What are we at?
42.
42?
I'm joking. You're at 57.
Huh.
I was truly hoping you would.
Okay.
Tony, do you have any questions about any of these first three stories?
When was your first girlfriend, Dave? It seems like a lot of your stories are like you're stinky and desperate for women. When did you first get your girlfriend?
I'd say I had my first real girlfriend. That's a good question. I was either in 6th grade
Damn.
or 8th grade. I want to say maybe it was 8th grade.
Had to have been an even year.
Not 7th grade.
I think I was in 8th grade. Like when I would say, like, because it's also the first girl, and Ryan will talk about this another time. The first girl I think my first kiss I might have been in 8th grade.
Oh yeah.
Maybe 7th, but I feel like it might have been 8th. So.
How long did you guys date?
Probably like a couple months or something like that.
Oh hell yeah, dude. That's great.
Something minimal. I'll tell one other thing as I do these last. I don't have to get in a lot of detail.
You cross
But
your
once,
I know. I'm excited by that. Why do you cross your legs?
make it harder, or easier?
I don't know if it's harder or easier. I just sometimes do it.
Never done
Sometimes
it.
it maybe feels easier to do it that way. I don't know if that's true or not. Does it feel easier, Tony?
It feels, I guess, about the same if you keep a narrow. I mean, obviously, the wider you go, the easier it is. But if it's already a close thing, it feels.
Yeah.
fun.
Here's the last one I'll give as I try to pound some of these others. One time, this is in, I'm gonna say this must have been in college, but I was with a girl, and we were in bed, and I'm not great in bed. I wasn't. I'm not saying I'm good now, but I wasn't then. And I remember it wasn't going to take long, and I started thinking about basketball in order to prolong any.
It just made you
We're
come.
at 69.
Oh, hey, perfect. I remember thinking about basketball in order to try to get my mind on something else, but it didn't help much. If anything, probably turned me on more.
75. Is that it? Is there more to that story? Did you like say
Jordan or something?
Dr. J or something? Shoots.
I'm sure it's Dominic Wilkins.
Oh, Dominic Wilkins, yeah, that's you.
No, it didn't. I don't think it helped.
But that's the end of the story.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It probably didn't take long, and then half the parties were unsatisfied.
Bravo, Dave. Great job. Killer push-ups, guys.
Yeah, that was better than I thought.
I think this is a good bit. I think it's a keeper.
No, I mean, I thought the bit was going to be good either way. I meant my doing push-ups, doing that.
Oh, yeah. I was so pleased that my push-ups weren't as terrible as I thought they would be.
They were great. They were great. I'd be interested to know if we did this in like a month, if it was easier, harder, if it would look the same.
Have you done this a month ago or in a month?
If we did it in another month from now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we'll definitely do this again.
I feel like I got to actually work on these.
Yeah, I'm going to do a workout now after this.
What's your workout?
I don't know. I'm going to like maybe since I did 75 push-ups, maybe do like other
bench press. It's a bunch of bench pressing.
Maybe like 75 squats, 75 sit-ups. Just
nice.
Stay out 75. Does that sound like is that good, you think?
I think it just depends on you. But yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. I don't know. I never know. I need somebody to tell me.
Please.
Being left to my own devices is never a good idea.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
For exercise?
No.
Oh.
I need somebody to tell me. I need somebody to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I bought golden Oreos yesterday.
Ooh.
They're almost all gone.
You've earned them.
Yeah.
You earned them today.
Thanks.
I've made a vow I'm not buying any more Oreos for a while.
Smart.
I think I've reached that point in quarantine now where it's like, okay, I don't need to comfort myself too much with like junky stuff. I can now it would feel good to be responsible for a little bit. I think that would make me feel better.
For sure.
Like
can
that's
you
the self-care I'm craving.
Ooh, oh.
Yeah.
You notice like Tony, what were you gonna ask?
I forget. You go ahead.
I would say like I noticed, and this is just like true to everyday life, but it's a constant reminder of, hey, when you eat better and you work out and you like sleep and whatever, like you feel better. You have more self-confidence. You feel better. Just like your mood is better. Everything is better when you do that. And yet for decades, I've railed against that.
Oh God.
Well, sure. That's railed against it. That's natural. This is what I was going to ask Harry and Dave, although I think I know for Dave. Can you have something like that in the house, like Oreos, and be disciplined about like one or two or something?
Depends. But usually no. Usually it's tough. Like usually I like if I'm like I'll it's like, oh, I'm gonna have 2, and I'll end up having 5.
That's still, yeah, but I get that. There was a moment where I was like, Drew, I think we need to get a safe, and you only have the code to it, and we keep just bad food. I had never gotten bad food before, just because we didn't have it in my house. And then living with Drew, it's like, you can get cookies, you can have just chips at home.
Yeah,
It's nuts.
wild.
That's
Nuts.
crazy.
Yeah, last night I because I didn't have any like pre-made meals at home, and that's another, you guys could probably attest to that. We don't have pre-made meals at home or whatever, you're going to be dining out, there's a good chance it's not going to go well.
Oh yeah.
So like last night I got like tacos from Veggie Grill, and then I got Oreos and chips from the grocery store, and it was just a debacle of
When
a
you say pre-made meals, you mean like you do like meal prep for the week or something, and you've got stuff already made? Okay.
You do meal prep, Dave?
Well, I not so much in that, like I'll make big meals that last several days.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So that's my meal prep, even though it's not a great way to do it.
Okay. And so you just had run out of stuff yesterday, and so are you going to be doing meal prep today?
Yeah, I got to go to the grocery store and get like a few things, and then I'll make food that'll be for the next 4 days or so.
You're going to the grocery store a lot. I understand.
I do go to the grocery store.
Do you feel like you need to just kind of like get out a little bit?
No, like I'm not going there just because I'm bored. I'm going there because I'm like, I need to get something to eat here.
I've been going to the grocery store too much also. I've been finding myself, and I'm like checking myself, am I going just because I want to have somewhere to go with a purpose, in a sense? Does that make sense?
Sure. But I don't feel like, if maybe you're different than me, like that's the only place I'm going like inside is the grocery store. And so if that's where I've limited I go for walks outside a ton.
It's
but
also
if my only thing is
it's
the
a
grocery store,
necessity. Yeah.
yeah, I don't feel guilty or embarrassed about that.
I don't feel guilty one bit.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I go in there all the time.
Can't even go to the grocery store without being made to feel guilty.
Oh no.
Open it up. I talked to my family yesterday, my parents, for Mother's Day. Just got on FaceTime my mom. They were having dinner. My brother, his husband, and their friend who's living with them right now, we're all over. They live in a separate home. My mom's friend was visiting there for dinner. My mom had no idea that cases and like the death toll is increasing.
She had no idea?
No clue. She thought she was like, well, you're still coming home to visit in July, right? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think so. She goes, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to Colorado in June, and then maybe visiting another friend. And I'm like, what is going on? The only news they get is Fox News.
Yeah, and they don't cover it as much on that.
I was terrified at the end of the conversation. Like, it was truly scary. So if you got folks who aren't taking it seriously, we got to figure something out, guys, because
when you told her this information, what did she sound like? She was like, oh, I need to look into that, or like, oh, Ryan?
I don't know. I think a little of both. I mean, she was like, oh, okay. Like, she was sort of shocked, a little bit like, and I wasn't trying to like come in and just, felt weird. I didn't want to like rain on a parade, you know? Does that make sense? I don't want to be like, well, no, actually, Mom and Dad, you can't. I knew that wouldn't go over.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know. So I tried to just play it down some. But she was, I didn't change her mind in any way. And I think more than, if anything, she's going to resist looking for that sort of information more.
Yeah.
I worry.
Ignorance is bliss, yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, guys.
Yay.
Anyway, I'm feeling ripped, so that's good.
I'm feeling jacked.
I'm feeling toned, and I don't know, something rhymes with that.
If you could get one body part that was like All right. All right. Okay. Hello. The Dougs are out. Nice. If you get one body part, like a genie was like, hey, I won't grant you 3 wishes, but you get
Abs.
one body part that's like
Abs.
Abs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, abs or biceps.
Abs or neck. Abs for sure.
Abs for sure.
Tony, what'd you do?
Yeah, probably abs.
Yeah. That's where I'm having the hardest time losing it. I mean, the Oreos are not helping. But that is where, for sure, the biggest hurdle is the stomach.
Right.
Biggest hurdle
Hard for everyone. I can't, for the life of me, I gave up trying to really lose kind of like those love handles because it's like I can't do anything else. I'm sure.
What can I do? What can I do?
I've done everything possible. There's no other way.
I mean, I gotta say, tried really hard. I don't want to like brag, but like I lost like a ton of weight, and then like for whatever reason, it's like it got to a point where it's like not like visually like 10 I would lose 10 pounds and nothing would change.
It's what they say for guys. That's like the first place you get it and the last place you lose it.
Yeah.
Well, it's for everyone. I feel like, especially women, usually.
Is it women for stomach too?
I think it's for everyone.
Yeah, your body wants to hold on to fat, especially in that area generally. But I mean, a lot of things go into that. Yeah. But usually it's the first place that you want to lose.
And it's like one of the most unhealthy places to keep it.
Well, that's a bad design.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Mahari, you can brag about losing weight. That can take work. If
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yours.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
You've looked, you've changed. You've looked awful. You've changed your body composition a lot over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's been a 36-year journey to figure it out.
And guess what? Still hasn't stopped.
Huh?
Still hasn't stopped.
No, I'm just getting better, baby.
What is it? Diet and exercise? And
this is crazy. That it never occurred to me that if I
truly
if I ate right and worked out, that I would be happier and look better. This is a wild thing. Never heard of it. I wish somebody would have told me.
You can't know what you don't know. There's no way of knowing that up until recently.
But I think but really at some point, like it just takes a while for it to connect. Like finally at one point it's just like, oh, okay. Like I had a bunch of anxiety about like going to the gym and feeling self-conscious there, and other like having to work through other just sort of like confidence issues when it came to that, and to like eating food and what am I using food as like, what am I using it to shield me from, and like why do I go there for comfort? And so kind of wrestling with all of that stuff and getting to a point where I was able to do it. Like it's still a good feeling, no regrets whatsoever. It's all progress to get to that point. Yeah. Anyway,
Dave, you look bad.
Oh, I was just thinking about this big glass of soy sauce I'm going to drink later on. I'm so thirsty. I can't wait to get that big glass of soy sauce.
Who had the most embarrassing story? I'm going to go, I'd say maybe Tony.
For sure.
Yeah,
for Tony. Sure. It was like the most recent and the most, what's the word I'm looking for when you're the most vulnerable?
Yeah.
Naked and throwing up and farting. I can't imagine, unless you're like also like tied up somehow. Like that's the only way you can get more vulnerable than what you were. Like if you're chained to the toilet.
Over a toilet bowl, it's splashing back in your face in front of the guy
it's
that
super
really
full.
like.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But if there was someone to have to like, at least it was Drew, right?
At least it was Drew. Yes.
Like a lot of other people would not be like cool about. They would be shitty or make it weird or be mad.
I feel that's true. I do feel very lucky that I feel like a lot of our friends would be cool about it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Who wouldn't?
I know. I'm trying to think of like who would be like though. I mean, I can think of people I'd rather not, but like I think a lot of our friends would be like, oh, okay, all right.
They'd feel bad. They'd feel bad for you because we have empathic friends.
Yeah. Also, throw a blanket over me.
Oh, yeah.
That seemed like the bad idea. I mean, you'd already taken all your clothes off. Clearly, you were too hot, so that feels like that would have been.
I wish you would have, and I wish you would have said no.
I probably would have just farted it off. It was nuts. Anyways.
Well, it was an amazing story, Tony. Thank you for sharing it, and thanks for participating in this little experiment. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Me too. Thanks for having me, guys.
This was so great. Always welcome. Guys, we will be back on Wednesday. Until then, keep going. Bye, guys.
Bye.